Hello everyone, welcome to the Maple Table. My name's Nathaniel. This is a channel where we discuss everything around role-playing games. So if you enjoy role-playing games as much as I do, it's more of a passion and a hobby of mine, really, then hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so that you can be alerted when my content becomes available to you. Today we are going to be continuing on our series where we talk about the 4 types of attacks that you can do in Starfinder. We've done the melee, that one will be up here, and today we're going to talk about ranged combat, because you're not an upfront fighter and you like to shoot in from the shadows. Yeah. Or from a distance, just because you're not really punchy. So that's a thing. As we continue on in the series, we have the 4 types of attacks that you can do. We've covered melee, we're doing range today, and we still have thrown and magic to go. So stay tuned for those, because they'll be coming out eventually. And when they are, I will pop them up here, and you can go take a look at them. So first off, if you're going to be a ranged character, you're going to need to know what's going to be your key ability score. So let's just pop up that character screen there. And you'll probably want to have something that looks a little bit like this. Obviously, if you're going to be doing a ranged type character, you're going to want to have dexterity as your primary ability or your key ability score. It's probably worth noting that you don't need to make strength your secondary ability. I would make the secondary the one that makes the most character choice for yourself, because we want to promote interesting characters on this show, not min-maxing. Doesn't necessarily have to be at 18. The example that I'm using is for a level 3 character. Nathaniel, how do I make a ranged attack? Well, it's funny you should mention that, dear viewer, because I am going to show you. Similar to what we did in our melee combat video, what you're going to do is basically the exact same thing except for your ranged. So what you're going to do, you're going to add your base attack bonus, and you're going to pop it into that section there for the BAB, except that's also going to go in your ranged attack section. You're now going to add your dex modifier into the column behind it where it says dex mod, so pretty self-explanatory. Then you're going to add those 2 numbers up, and that's the bonus that you get to add. You just go ahead and roll that d20, and then you add your ranged attack bonus, and tell that to your game master. If it's good enough, hopefully you hit. If you do, then we get to move on to the next phase, which is rolling damage, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So let's check out an option for our character for damage, shall we? For our character example, I've gone with a long arm proficiency, so let's take a look at what we've got. We are going to be using the azimuth laser rifle. So what does that give us? Well, it's a level 1 weapon. It has a pretty good range at 120 feet and an okay damage at 1d8 plus your proficiency bonus. Now your proficiency only comes in at level 3, which is another reason why our character is level 3. One other thing to mention in this example that was not in our melee damage example, this weapon has a critical effect. So what that means is, let's say we roll a 20 on the die. Even if your attack roll and your modifier combined are lower than the armor class of the monster you're fighting, a 20 will always hit. And if your weapon has a critical property like this one does in our example, you get to do the bonus effect. In our example, you get to roll 1d8 plus 3, and you would then add another d6 of fire damage. One thing that we need to keep in mind when you're doing a ranged attack is the range of the weapon. As I mentioned before in our example that we had 120 feet, that is the range band of that weapon. You can still fire outside of that range band. I wouldn't advise it, because then you take a penalty like this. It's a -2 when you're outside of that range band, and then it's -2 for every band that you go outside of that. Some weapons will allow you to go 10 times outside the range. Some weapons will only allow you to go 5 times outside the range, and they will always tell you what they are. This exception would be when you're dealing with sniper rifles. And in a sniper rifle's case, they will tell you exactly what the top range that you can use is, and it's sort of in the special section of a sniper rifle. They have a long range. Long range! Also, there's a variety of attacks that you can use when you are making a ranged attack. It doesn't have to be a straight attack from the weapon just to deal damage. You can provide some covering fire, some harrying fire. There's a few other things that you can do to provide support to your team. So there's two particular attacks that I wanted to talk about with ranged weapons that you can use, and I don't think they get used as much as they should, and they really are some good supportive maneuvers. One of them would be covering fire. With covering fire, you make a ranged attack roll against an AC of 15. If you hit, you deal no damage, but you do give a selected ally a +2 circumstance bonus to their AC against the next attack. The next one is a really good one as well if you have a heavy hitter on the team. The other attack that you can do with a ranged weapon is called harrying fire. This is made against an AC 15 check. Again, if you hit, you deal no damage. Very important to remember that. No damage. But the next ally who attacks the creature that you have targeted, provided you hit, gets a +2 bonus to hit that creature. So these types of attacks can be used to help control the field of battle and give some bonuses to some of your other up-close members who maybe need that little extra help. Because, you know, you're a ranged fighter, so you're better than them. Well, this has been my video today around ranged combat and some of the basics around it, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about the harrying fire attack or the covering fire attack as I've discussed them. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and again, turn on that bell notification. If you enjoyed today's video, share it with your friends, as it really does help this channel grow. And with that, thanks for stopping by, everyone.